Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been over 5 weeks since I last was here to take a look at the Stampede Corral demolition progress, and figured for Easter weekend I also come back to see what has changed. And I'm going to say it's definitely a much quieter site, other than some geese, maybe with less humans around these parts, not going to the game right now during COVID. Maybe the geese are starting to think that this Saladome is theirs, but hopefully we don't have to worry about dealing with geese whenever they let us back to come to games again. But back to here's me behind the camera, in front of the camera at the same time. But I already took a picture here. You see all the cranes resting. I gotta wait for a car to go through. That's right here at the gate of Stampede Park. But yeah, you can see all the cranes are now all resting here. This for this first shot. I'll just walk over. As you can see, there's the Stampede headquarters, and around there in the parking lot, that's where eventually the new event center is going to be. But yeah, just take a look at all these cranes here. They've done all the damage of taking away the Stampede Corral for the BMO Centre expansion, so you can get a preview right here. But I'm going to say that I think the plot is now set. The plot of land now set for eventually for the new BMO Centre expansion, as I did say in previous videos where I've done this kind of vlogging style. I was trying to wait till it's safe to cross as I'm recording. Oh. Just want to. Man, I said there's not much people here, and yet there's traffic when I'm recording. But here I'm back on this side of the street, as there was a family here biking. But yeah, this is the site of the Scotiabank Saladome. Kind of ad-libbing as I go, but you can see all the construction for the demolition is over. But I'll just take a few more walks around and see what's changed. And I think now the plot of land that's going to be eventual construction of the BMO Centre expansion ready to go. So yeah, and this is where I started this tour. This is where all the cranes are resting, and around here, that's where the corral used to be in the plus 15. So I'll see you in those other clips. Well, this caught my eye when I was walking around. Right behind me, there's actually still a bus running, and it did say players. This bus right here, it did say players. I'm almost thinking maybe that was the Calgary Flames bus, because the Calgary Flames actually, as of this recording, will be back here to host the Toronto Maple Leafs in back-to-back games. But other than the bus right in the background, well, look at this. Here is the mural that used to stand right about here, where the Stampede Corral. It breaks it up in two parts. First is Guy Wiedek, the Dream, the big founder behind the Calgary Stampede back in 1912. As you can see right here, talks about that this mural depicts Guy Wiedek, cowboy and entrepreneur who conceived and developed the Wild West exhibition and rodeo in 1912, which evolved to be the greatest outdoor show on earth, the Calgary Stampede. Wiedek envisioned a cowboy championship along with a tribute to the Old West, gained financing from the famous Big Four: George Lane, Patrick Burns, A. Cross, and Archie McLean. That's the Big Four with the Big Four building. And Patrick Burns also is the one of the buildings at SAIT, the old campus we went to, the Senator Patrick Burns building, and the Rock Garden just south of SAIT on 10th Street, near where I live now. And it says the mural is a partnership between the Calgary Stampede Historical Community and the Government of Canada. And then it says the artist is Doug Drieger. It was unveiled back on July 8th, 1996. So that is the top part of the mural that was on the Calgary Stampede Corral that is no longer with us, but there's one way to preserve it. I also got to wonder if they're going to recreate it with the same colors elsewhere. And I also want to mention that as I was doing my Calgary Stampede demolition progress videos, well, actually I had a student from the Mural University that reached out to me, and right now it's still under wraps in terms of I've had a couple interviews talking about my videos and my feelings with this whole thing. But she actually performed at the Calgary Stampede show band a couple years ago, and take it what it's worth that they're rehearsing for the Stampede this year. And when I asked, did you rehearse last year, she said no. So that means we're going to have a Stampede this year. But anyway, one of the things that caught her attention was that mural. And I definitely, with the latest Zoom call, if something comes out of it, I'll share, or you can see on my channel if the it's for their assignment as a broadcasting student. But here's one way to show it. It talks about the mural. And then the bottom part of the mural right here talks about the early Stampede parade. As you know, you can see Cappy Smart, and I got a couple connections with Cappy Smart personally myself. But let's read down here. It says, this mural depicts the early Stampede parades to this day, which traditionally kicks off the annual Calgary Stampede. It still remains to be seen, A, if we'll have a Stampede this year, and B, if we'll have a parade, or will it be in its same traditional form with the COVID restrictions. I mean, unfortunately, numbers are going in the wrong direction with the third wave. But it says back here, 1912, the first, Stampede was the largest gathering of mounted cowboys, First Nations, trappers, prospectors, mounted police, and buffalo ox teams to be seen in the parade in North America. And I have seen pictures of Glenbow Archives, what the parade looked like back in the day. It was like, that was a huge gathering, even when Calgary was a small city then. And it says, starting in the 1920s, the parade marshal was Calgary's most predominant citizens. Fire Chief Cappy Smart, one of them. As you can see, there's Cappy Smart right there. This mural is a partnership between the Calgary Stampede Historical Community and the Government of Canada. And then it says the artist Penny Cordain unveiled July 11th, 1997. So this is the two parts of the mural right here that used to be with the Calgary Stampede, with the Stampede Corral. That I've always saw that every time that I walked around here, either going to events at the Saddledome or at Stampedes. I mean, the QR code only takes you to the public art on the Calgary Stampede website, and it only shows this part of it. I'll put that in the description below when I put this together. But here is talking more about the mural, and I'm surprised I missed this, or I think it might have been blocked off, or I mean, it was also in the winter time as well, and there was more activity. But I saw this when I walked by. I was like, hey. And then I was recently talking to that student from Mural University about the mural, and that was the one thing that stood out to her. And we'll see if that that documentary gets published, and I could share that, or maybe I'll be notified of it. But that's one neat thing about my live vlogging. But Cappy Smart, yes, that same Cappy Smart is named of the elementary school in my neighborhood that I grew up in Marlborough Park on Madigan Drive. That is the same Cappy Smart that is named after. So I got a little bit of that personal connection. I mean, I went there for 1 year myself, but looking back at my grade school days, I mean, looking back when I spent 3 years at Dr. Oakley, and I might eventually do some other live vlogs looking back at my childhood throughout the city. But I'd say the 4 years of my grade school, I think my best days were the 3 years that I was at Dr. Oakley, and the 1 year I spent at Cappy Smart. That's where met or know a lot of people that I grew up with over the years, and many of them still connected with today. But yeah, there's the more facts about the mural right here. Have it right here, black and white, literally and figuratively. This just caught my eye for this visit, and for that student, well, here you go. Here's more information on it. That I'll leave the name out until it officially gets published. Just for privacy. But I just felt it was neat that she emailed me and contacted me, and it's also another sign of generation, because I turned 39 this year, and the student was only 20 years old, and it's all just sharing the stories and history. But yeah, this definitely caught my eye. This is just another bonus content, but as you can see, it's this is where I started, and here's the good old Scotiabank Saddledome that now it's just standing alone. But this used to face the Style Dome for, since the late 1990s and last few years until, just around February when it got knocked down. So I'll just walk around some more and capture some more footage and show you the plot of land that's going to be ready for the BMO Centre expansion. But hopefully, this will get, preserved in its natural, original state. Natural state too, I guess you can say, somewhere in this BMO Centre. I hear that they're planning on preserving many aspects of the Corral, and I'll share more stories as I get there. So yeah, here's the mural. More information on the mural right here. So I'm definitely glad that I decided to make another visit. So here's that. Well, here I'm standing. This is where that west entrance, where just shortly after where the mural used to be, and when you're inside the corral where the Zamboni entrance is. Well, this is what the plot of land looks like 5 weeks later. Not 5 years, 5 weeks later, after when I was last here, when there was still some snow on the ground, there was still some rubble, but as you could see as I go around, and you could see the cranes are over there from where I started. This plot of land definitely is ready for preparation for the BMO Centre expansion. And I said the Stampede Corral used to stand or sit here, depending on your perspective, for 70 years, and you can see a wide open field. You just, going back to all the some memories I have and know the history of it, and as in the last clip where I talked about the murals, I think it was blocked off in the snow. Why I missed that, but you could see made reference to that, and then going back to that Mural University student that reached out to me to actually talk to me more in depth about the Stampede Corral and the videos that I made. And I do enjoy doing these vlogs, live vlogs as well, but just showing that how much the city has changed over the years. Just think the Corral, when it was here back in 1950, I mean, all this area has changed, the Victoria Park area and downtown, and seeing all these buildings are up behind here, downtown skyline being built. I mean, it was opened before the opening of the Calgary Tower, and then many of these tall buildings are built in the 1980s and then recently in the 2010s. But still go around there, you can still see the Scotiabank Saddle, as I say, and no plus 15, and forever this view has changed for whenever I can get back to capturing events here in the Saddle Dome, hopefully maybe sooner later this year. But I'm going to still say there's still some geese. The geese like to follow me because they were out when I started my McMahon Stadium, Foothill Stadium walking tour. But I gotta wonder, there's been some active geese activity around here. I gotta wonder, with lack of humans coming to the game, Sea of Red not coming here, I wonder if the geese start thinking that they own the Saddle Dome now. Well, we still are the Sea of Red, and they're going to learn that lesson that hopefully they don't get too aggressive when red flame jerseys come back in the stands. I mean, sadly, I don't think we're going to make the playoffs this year, but in October, hopefully we're back. But we'll see. But this is just, more views of around here on this Easter weekend for the Stampede Corral, or the former site of the Stampede Corral. I'm always going to remember this site being where the Stampede Corral is going to be, and I'm looking forward to that day as I get older to pass on more stories, and when the BMO Centre expansion is right there, and until, especially oblivious kids, and say, a hockey arena used to be in there, and that the Calgary Flames, when they first came to town, they played in that said arena, and they'll look at me like, you're making that up. You're making that up. I'm looking forward to that day. There's a lot of other things I look forward to when I get older. Let's say, my old school hip hop when I'm much older, jam into it and have a kid say, ew, you like that? I'm looking forward to that day. But this is why I do this, just to preserve the memory and just get me out and share the stories. But yeah, this is what the patch of land looks like now. Later this year, I still plan to come back later this year when they start construction, both the event center and the BMO Centre expansion, just to vlog that and capture what I can, because this is the new, future of Calgary, and Stampede Park is transitioning as we speak. So let's walk around and capture some more footage. And some other people are also enjoying Stampede Park on this Easter weekend. So I'll see you. Well, I'm back, further back in the Stampede Park. I mean, there's not really many more different views that I can provide, with now the Stampede Corral being demolished. But here we are 5 weeks later, where there's no snowbanks in the way. And of course, I always got to point out the Calgary Tower, that it's always going to be one of the most iconic buildings in the Calgary skyline, even though now there's more condos and taller buildings around it. But getting back to when the Stampede Corral was constructed and built and opened in late 1950, it's definitely seen many generations of people and sporting events, pop culture events, concerts, and even small stampede shows. It's definitely seen a lot more change, and more of the sign of a generation turning on. And I still say going to Stampede Park is going to change forever, because another part of the Stampede Park renovations is the Victoria Park Stampede Station. I understand is also going to be replaced and to put it more of a street level station. They say around 17th Avenue. Be interested to see how that goes with traffic flow and people, but it would be a lot easier not have to climb up to climb down to go on the platform. But as I had more information on the mural that I saw, well, there's the Big Fort building, which is named after that four businessmen as well. And keep panning around that, well, 3 months from now, are we going to be here for real saying Yahoo? I mean, still going through these uncertain times with COVID, but turn around, there's always that dream home. And then you could see kind of that pavilion right there. That's where you buy your tickets to get into the rodeo or the grandstand show. And there's the Ultimate Hall and the Nutrient Center, and then the Saladon, which I always say it's one of the more iconic buildings of the Calgary skyline as well, just with the unique saddle shape. But even that building is showing its age, and eventually, looking at city plans, that this is going to probably be demolished down the road. We'll see how long that's going to be, and if I'm still a content creator like this and making videos on YouTube, I will have to do another vlogging documentation as well. I mean, especially we're getting ready for the BMO Centre expansion being built. Now that the plot of land is getting developed, is pretty much see all the rubble's gone. The land was all flattened out, ready for the new expansion, which we do need it. You won't get an argument out of me that we do need it, but it's the price we had to pay for missing the Stampede Corral demolition, and that's all kind of part of the that documentary that the student reached out to me, see how anything turns out. But at least it was nice for me to both get my content out there and help a fellow student out with their assignment. So it's a win-win that way. But I mean, I just want to keep going back. I didn't think I was going to come back for a fifth visit, but I figured why not. It's Easter weekend, no more snow on the ground, and then a good thing I found that relic. I think it might have been blocked off or covered in snow, where I missed that mural information, but I'm now going to have that up there once I make this video. So yeah, it's panning around Stampede Park. I want to be here 3 months from now for real, saying Yahoo. We badly need to stampede again. Damn COVID, keep wrecking things. But it is what it is. I mean, it's that balance between trying to stay safe and trying to stay sane. But I mean, depending on what source you believe, is this a case where we could say the cure was worse than the disease? But I mean, fortunately, we're almost reaching 1 million cases in Canada and almost 3 million people worldwide. Sadly, passed away with this nasty virus. And yeah, obviously, I always have to say thanks to all the frontline workers too. So I just got to put that in as well. That thanks to everyone who's done that. But we're gonna need a stampede just to boost everyone's morals and just to keep that spirit alive, which is what Calgary is known for. And I mean, the construction of the BMO Centre expansion and the new events are means assuming that all this is going to end, we can gather and go back to the community, and that's definitely what I've been missing this whole time. That at least it's nice to share the stories as well. So I'll just probably get one more look at the old Coke stage and give my final thoughts and call this a visit for this. We're almost gonna have to start saying goodbye. Totally say goodbye to Stampede Corral, and then hello to the new BMO Event Center expansion and the Event Center expansion. So we'll see that. Well, I'm back to where I usually like to close out this visit, standing on top of the production stage on the Coke stage, just to show the, this plot of land that say it looks all prepared for the eventual construction of the BMO Centre expansion. One thing that stood out is, did someone forget that over there? Or there, right there? Did someone forget that digger right there, or was it purposely left there to still start the construction of the BMO Centre expansion? But yeah, you can definitely see a wide open field to the Scotiabank Saddledome, and you can see, that gateway where I started this, visit. But this will all be changing for the next couple of years for the BMO Centre expansion. We've definitely seen change side of generation, and I always keep saying it's important for me to, I feel, to, as a content creator, to, share the past and look forward to the future. And, you definitely go through a lot of emotions, with when you see changes like this happen. I mean, even though I still wish I can, I was around when I was much younger, or around, before, my time when the Stampede Corral was the place to be here in Calgary. I mean, the time when it was built back in 1950 and opened in the public, it was the largest arena west of Toronto. You've definitely seen a lot of changes throughout the city over the 70 years with another crane going through, but with the cinder block, I'll just try to let that pass, moving these cinder blocks. That's the beauty of, live recording and vlogging on the go. But getting back to my train of thought, that I wish I was around when the Stampede Corral was the place to be. Or I always got to keep throwing that Back to the Future reference in. If I had a DeLorean, if that kind of DeLorean, and bring it up to 88 miles per hour here in Canada, and we use the metric system, it's over 130 kilometers per hour. Got to find a place to do it legally without getting in trouble. I would like to go back in time and see what it was like, or even go back when the Flames first moved here, and that part still blows my mind. The Calgary Flames, yes, NHL hockey even was played in the Stampede Corral. I mean, it was only very, very temporary before the Saddledome was built, but the concerts that all the teams have played in, see, I remember the Calgary series, but I just hate me doing this. I was still going to do it either way, but it's just interesting that I caught attention of a Mural University student for their trying to do a documentary for their assignment, and was appreciative of what I provided, and appreciate if it gets published and see how it turns out. I'm looking forward to that if it happens, but I just like to say keep preserving the past and looking forward to the future, because I'm getting to that age now. As I say, I turned 39 in June, and I'm at that age now. I mean, realizing that the student was only 20 years old, and you start seeing more younger kids and not realizing that they were around, events that I was around for when I was, a young adult or a kid who was long gone. That, I just want to pass it on, and, being the other thing they also realize too is the more people I see and meet weren't born and raised here in Calgary, and as someone who probably calls Calgary home, been born and raised, I've all kinds of memories, both good and bad, here in Calgary, sports and then personal, that I just feel it's important to pass that on, just keep people interested in knowing the history of the city, and to show your civic pride. That's all it comes down to. And I still plan to do more, this kind of live vlogging. I made a new playlist called On The Go Vlogging, if I know it top of my head, where I put these past videos in and my taking in the Chinook Blast. And I do plan to do some more, live vlogging, non-sports related, other parts of the city that I grew up in the past. I'm thinking about doing that, especially with the nicer weather and all that. Just the win-win. Allows me to make the content, gets me out of the house, get some exercise, and I'm trying to get a little healthier, because I'm almost going to be hitting my 40s, which is going to it's just surreal to think about that as well, that I'm becoming middle-aged. But it's just a sign of the generation. I mean, many generations enjoyed the corral before me and during my time, and even younger people. Go Canada! Canada Geese. They've been active all around since I've been here. I guess they like to follow me. I must be a big fan of the Canada Geese. Please like and subscribe, Canada Geese, as well as everyone else who enjoys my content. So I always like to close out. If you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home to Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders. Just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel and recap games and stories, but I also do personal vlogs. Well, this is where I'm going to call more of a live vlog. Personal vlogs where I just talk about anything that's on my mind and back at home, as well as attempt at comedy and share my experience today. I'm on the road, a sporting event. This kind of mashes, some of that all together with my sports and live vlogging. But I think I'm like doing this more kind of a style of a video, because I enjoy showing the other parts of the city, share the history, share my stories, and as well, have this up on YouTube for future generations. Man, how long YouTube's going to be? I mean, realizing that YouTube has been around, it first came out in 2005, I believe. 2005, and it's a different business and game now. And I remember it used to be, it actually was originally intended to be a dating site, kind of replace, bringing in those VHS tapes. Remember that, for people that want to find something out there, that before online dating became a thing, but now it's become a video sharing site. And here we are into 2021, and how long, I mean, YouTube's such a big empire that as long as all servers are there, I'd just like to have that all on there. So getting back to you say, so if that all sounds like be interesting to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, what you need to do, just make sure you like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below. So yeah, just was another interesting site to go take a look at the Stampede Corral, share a few more stories. A lot has changed in the last 5 weeks with the weather being a little nicer. The student recently contacted me talking about these videos and me evolving more on YouTube, making these kind of videos that I want to do more of. And then I finally found that relic that I think I might have overlooked it, or either it was buried in the snow. Talking about the mural, that's one of the elements we miss. And of course, the other thing I miss right about here used to be the neon cowboy and those stone murals, and I hear there's plans to preserve all of that. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And thanks for everything to Stampede Corral. It's I guess eventually also going back to the See Dead clothing that I recently bought, that Cannons hat, and yes, I'll be making that Cannons video here shortly with the Remember the Calgary series, as well as the other teams that used to play here. But I think eventually going to pick that t-shirt up of that neon cowboy. We missed that neon cowboy. I miss Stampede Corral. Much of the history predates me, but I'm just aware of the history and what it's meant to the city of Calgary over the years. But the city's changed. We're a much bigger city now, and we just need to evolve as it changes. So thanks for watching.